Hello people. Yes, I wear glasses. As you guys saw at the end of the last video, my contacts were bothering me, and I've decided to wear glasses every once in a while, so I'm wearing glasses today. But let's get straight to the point. This car that is behind the camera has been a super long process in the making. Let's go ahead and reveal the new car to the channel. And there you have it, our very own 2013 Scion FRS BRZ thing. I want to start by saying that this car is not for me. This car was a surprise for my girlfriend Alyssa, and it has been a hell of a process getting this car to where it is today. And to be specific about that, this is not even the car that we first surprised her with. We had a 2015 Scion FRS that we had purchased from Copart for $7,000. When that car came in, we were told that it ran and drove, but the tow truck driver told us that he jumped the car backwards and he thinks he blew the battery, so we need a new battery. So we went ahead and bought a new battery for that car. So then we tried to start the car. We found out that both the keys that the car came with weren't even from the car. So we had to go take it to Toyota to get 2 new keys programmed. And when it was at Toyota, they found out that the motor had low compression. So that car was a huge nightmare. And we even went to the extent of reaching out to Copart, telling them that the car doesn't run. They offered us $4 grand back, which we took because in our minds that meant a $3 grand shell. You can buy a new motor for $4 grand and you'll have a running car for $7 grand with less than 60,000 miles. And that was the ideal attempt. Now, what we did is we went ahead and took that $4 grand, bought a 60,000 mile motor, and we put it in the car. We spent a couple days putting that motor in the car, and then we ended up trying to start it and nothing. And when it didn't start, we tested everything like battery, spark plugs, starter, sensors, you name it. We tried it all. Me and my best friend Mark stayed up till like 2 in the morning one night trying it all. It just would not turn over. It would just crank, crank, crank and not turn over. And then we had found out that something was really wrong electrically with that car. All the fuses were blown. The ECU was blown, the direct injection computer was blown, the main body gateway ECU was blown, and the transmission module was blown. We did get like 2 of those modules changed out and programmed, but as we kept getting new things, throwing money into it, we realized that car wasn't really worth it because we were already reaching the point of getting past the car's value for this much of a headache. So theoretically, it was gonna take a couple more thousand to get that car started, and that would not have been worth it. We didn't even know if that was all it needed. It could be a lot more than modules, because even if that car did start, it has been so Frankenstein and messed up that there would be so many gremlins that you would have to work out over time. So at the end of the day, I decided that that car was not worth the headache that we've been dealing with for 4 months. Alyssa waiting every day for a car to start, and I went ahead and started looking for another one. And this beauty popped up. So this car popped up for about 10 grand, but then I was able to negotiate the car down to 8. And when the guy said he'll take 8, I instantly dropped everything I was doing, went straight to Tampa, picked this car up, brought it back, and it looked a lot more wonky than what this is. And that's because the car had like a half-wrap Nardo gray. The car was like different color hood and bumper, and then different trunk and rear bumper. And it's not because this car was ever in an accident. I looked really deep into all the details with this car. This car was actually once a show car, which we're gonna return it into, give it the love it deserves. It was a 2013 white Scion FRS that had a Pandem V2 widebody TE37s. It looked like it had air suspension. It had an aftermarket front bumper, aftermarket hood, aftermarket trunk. I'll put the picture on the screen right now. The car looked phenomenal, but it ended up being parted out, including the motor, so it was just a shell when this guy that I bought this car from ended up picking it up from him because his 2013 BRZ ended up getting in a wreck. So he was able to swap everything from his BRZ over to this FRS, including the motor, the transmission, the gauge clusters, the head unit, the seats, the center console, the rear seats, everything on this car, even the doors, the trunk, the bumper, the hood, was all BRZ, and he swapped out the front fenders to OEM ones because the front ones were cut from the Pandem V2, and then he put Origin Lab rear over fenders to cover up the old cuts from the Pandem V2. So I knew we were gonna be able to fully transform this car. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it does have some issues. Like the brake pads were completely shot and the studs were all broken in the rear. But yesterday me and Alyssa went ahead and changed all the studs in the rear, and we checked the pads and rotors. And then the front, I actually threw on my 2022 BRZ calipers brake pads and rotors, which were brand new because I instantly put on Cadillac Brembos on my BRZ when I first got it. So this has a whole brand new setup on the front. It's got a good setup on the rear. That's all minor stuff because this car is a clean title. This car has a good mechanical setup. Everything performance-wise has been worked out, and the interior is like upgraded to a BRZ interior, which is higher quality than an FRS in my opinion. So this car is just ready to go. So I'm super excited because that FRS was such a pain in the ass for us, and it was like so demotivating trying to get that car and say, I'm gonna reveal it, and there was nothing to show you guys. But this car is here. This is why we traded in the Z. I really wanted to get Alyssa her own project car because, as you guys saw in the last video, I had mentioned that she's taking on half of the Risen brand because she loves clothing, fashion, marketing, all that good stuff. And in order for her to dive into our brand, I really want her to feel a part of it. And that's what she's going to be doing with this BRZ because she has a whole build list. She's been so excited, and revealing it to them has been absolutely insane. So it's been fun, you know, getting this car, finally driving it. She's mastering stick. The first one we had bought her was an automatic. This one is a manual, thank God. And she's mastering it on this car because she had already learned on mine. So she knows stick, but she's mastering it with this one. This car is actually going straight into the wrap bay later today, and that video will be coming out soon as well. But yeah, I'm so happy to finally reveal this car to you guys because that was a lot of talking. I'm so bad. It was the worst feeling of wanting to show you guys the car and show you guys the process, but not wanting to do it in a cookie cutter way. I wanted to reveal it done, and the other one was just not finishing. So this car is here. It's beautiful. But what happened to the other FRS? I didn't sell it. It's here's that FRS I was talking about. We still have the car, and it just so happened we have Josh and Alex also here today. So it's just like, it's a straight up BRZ day with mine over there as well.
Nobody gives a fuck about your car.
Alex said nobody gives a about my car. Anyway, yeah, so we still have this car. So I am going to be selling this motor to recuperate the money that was spent on this car. This motor can be sold for 4 to 5 grand, and because that still has 60,000 miles, what's really wrong with this car is the modules. So the shell can only be used for a race car setup, which is something that Alyssa's stepdad had advised as well, that the only thing this car is going to be good for at this point, because of all the electrical issues, is a race car. You could throw a Hall Tech in it, you could throw a K-swap in it, 2J, it doesn't matter. You could throw whatever you want here, and then you could do a sequential transmission because this one is automatic. I would want to rip all of that out. We could fully race car this car, or I could sell this for 3 grand, 4 grand, maybe even less because of the electrical issues. But this car also has a clean title. So I don't know if I want to keep this car and turn it into a race car for the shop maybe, or if it's just time to get rid of it. I think it would be pretty cool because I know Alyssa wanted to get into drifting. However, she was saying last night that this car is going to be too pretty to drift with. So maybe we can all tap into our inner child with this car and just have anybody on Risen, you know, play with this and make this a freaking Risen race car. Oh, Alex wants to be in the video so bad. Oh.
You don't play me enough.
This is Josh's Pandem V2. This is Pandem V3. Missing diffuser, it's getting painted. So yeah, that's the conclusion of today's video. This was a great reveal. This is going to be Alyssa's car. This is what we sold the Z for. She's going to be diving into the car scene, going crazy, you know, doing all the stuff. We're gonna make this car real pretty. She's gonna get really deep into the car scene. I'm super excited for her, and I'm super excited to have another car on the channel that I know you guys will like because you guys like my car, I think. That is all I have for you guys today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I know I look like a nerd with these glasses. Please leave me alone in the comments. And this car is proof to our motto because the first car screwed us over so bad that I almost wanted to give up, but I didn't. And there's a reason God didn't want that car to start, and that's because he wanted Alyssa to drive a manual. That's all I have to say. Thank you guys. Be sure to never stop dreaming. Like one night, I remember when I started all of this, we were watching Bohemian Rhapsody because I've never watched it, but she kept pushing me to watch it. She wanted me to watch it. And I think it's about Queens. And basically the guy was just so crazy about being a singer or whatever, like starting his band, like sharing his art. And he seemed so crazy. Everybody thought he was so crazy, but he was so crazy that he did it. And after that movie, I literally remember like looking over at her and was like, damn, I've been filming videos since I was in 4th grade. Like, I was in love with YouTube, but I grew up with the mindset and the environment, the friends, even friends and connections that YouTube is not a real career. And I looked over and I was like, man, if I was crazy enough, I would do YouTube. And she literally looked at me and said, then do it. She said, just do it. Like, I don't see why you can't. You're there. Like, the day after I filmed my first YouTube video on this channel, of revamping the channel and taking it seriously day to day. And it's been over a year now almost of YouTube. I mean, this year was the most serious year, but it's been a little over a year of like struggling as a couple financially to let me dream, to let me do this. And I couldn't ask for somebody, you know, who's been motivating me and pushing me the whole way through and hasn't doubted me once in my dream or my career. And to the point where she supports the brand enough to help design. She helped design the shirts, the hoodies, like help, you know, come up with ideas for the website. And she's been like an absolute motivator, and she's been working at the booths, you know, at every car meet, just helping sell and, you know, getting to know some people. So I'm shaking a little bit. Like it meant a lot to me, you know, just seeing that somebody could stick with me through that dream. And I know it's only been a year or almost over a year of this journey, but like she didn't doubt it at all is what really like meant a lot to me. And I know now that she's getting a little bit more into the brand and how far we're getting, I know the only way for her to fully indulge into this brand is if she were to be a part of it in this way. Like if she had her own project car to build, because she's been playing Forza on my simulator here and there, and she's been decking out her little FRS, making it pink and all that, and she's been loving it. She's chosen the FRS as her car. I have the second Gen BRZ. It's pretty cool. We can have, you know, the two cars as a couple, and I hope she likes it. I mean, we got to get it running, obviously. Your surprise is right here. It's right there. I'm shaking. It's right there. Right there. It's yours. Yes, it's your FRS. No, I'm serious, honey. Look. Come on. Look, this is my hoodie in it. See? It's for you. It's yours. It's yours. Trading the Z for it.
What?
I already did, yeah. It's all you. Project car. Trey and Brandon are here. Yeah, this is your project car.
You traded in the Z?
Yeah, for this. Well, essentially we're gonna do that, but yeah, this is for you. This is gonna be your new AK86 is gonna happen. Yeah? You like it?
Oh my gosh.
You like it?
Yes.
Project. There it is. There you go. 8 grand BRZ right here. 8 grand for 90,000 miles. Now, this car needs a full rewrap, front bumpers, wheels. No, so this was wide bodied with a Pandem V2 wide body. They put over flares on it, but it's already cut and seam sealed for a wide body. So if she wants to go wide body, it's ready to go. We got a whole new bumper, taillights, everything. So start it. Yeah, it has to touch it. This one runs. Fuck yeah. Fuck the other one.